Welcome to the Beacon by Soul 33, teachings for your past, present, and future. Good morning, everyone. It is the 3rd of April, the first week of April, and such an interesting week it was. So I am currently back in New Zealand, and before I continue, if you're listening to this, or if you are on YouTube, please subscribe and like the channel. If you are on the app, The Beacon by Soul 33, please tag me in your stories. Let people know that these weekly 20-minute lessons are available for your soul progression. And if you're on Spotify, don't forget to like and share the link as well. And let people know, because it helps me grow this platform for you. So, as I was saying, I am back in New Zealand now, and it was, nothing is a coincidence. It has been orchestrated for me. That was the energy underlying for last week, because nothing really is a coincidence. Nothing is without reason, especially things that bring up a lot of emotion or triggers or healing or surrender. So I was feeling very, very out of sorts when I arrived back in New Zealand. I was feeling very, very upset and sad because I hadn't seen my parents in so long, and saying goodbye was very, very hard because they're so far away. But I had a wonderful time, and I shared a bit of it on my Insta stories. I hope you enjoyed seeing my family and where I came from and whom I came from. So there was a deep sadness and a lot of crying, to be honest. And also when I got back, I visited a friend who is in end-of-life care at the moment, which was very, very sad also. So it was a bit of but I knew also why I'm telling you all this is because when these things happen, right, it is an orchestration. Like it wasn't a coincidence that my mother-in-law was in end-of-life care over November, for 6 weeks from November to December, and then my friend also now is going through a similar thing. And what it has done for me, it's created perspective in my life. And I've just come from my parents. They are the people that made me, that brought me into the world, that cherished me when I was there. And, I was saying to my best friend, I literally didn't have to do anything. My washing was done, my meals were made, my snacks were prepared, my sheets on my bed were changed whenever I went, when I went out and came home. I was treated like a child, and I loved it. I really, really loved it. And so when you experience that kind of love that you haven't felt in a long time because I have been away from them for so long, and then you come back on the same day and you're already upset about that because you know that everything is creating memories, soul memories, as well as memories for this lifetime as well. And then getting off the plane already sad, and then going to see my friend, which was also another level of sadness. And what was coming up for me was that real mother energy, that being able to nurture yourself and know that when things come up, they come up for us to learn and experience and grow. And last week I was very organized because I was traveling and I've been working and doing all of the things, but a lot is being unveiled at the moment. And people, and even though some things may seem sad or like grief, through that, and I've mentioned this to you before, through grief comes this passion about aligning with your true nature. Because when you experience grief, the healing perspective is that you connect in with what you really want, and you're not just doing things because you have to. So what came up for you last week that was directing you down your true path? Because I learned a lot from my trip, even though I didn't do anything in terms of the usual chores and things that I normally do, because my mum wanted to take care of all of those needs for me and my dad. And then I came back to death. And I found that really interesting because I talked about the death and rebirth energy the week before with the moon, full moon energy, I believe it was. And as we proceeded through the week, the card that came up for us all was the Break the Cycle card. And that feeling of being back at the same place, because I hadn't had those feelings of being removed from my parents for a long, long time. And I came back to this place of this little girl going, I really just want my mummy. And this goes on, when we have this recognition that something needs to change, and for me, the something needs to change is I need to go and see them more often, and I need to communicate with my mum more often. All of those things. And this breaking the cycle goes beyond that feeling of familiarity, which can feel reassuring. Breaking the cycle is also about what you don't want to carry on with in the same way. And I don't want to carry on with not feeling connected because of geographical differences with the people that I love. And also knowing that people don't live forever, bodies don't live forever. So there might have been some level of hostility in the air. And I know that was a really weird word for me to use, but it was kind of like this hostile energy, not an aggressive energy, but a feeling towards someone in your life, or a family member or a foe, or someone that pops up with some sort of similar behavior. And it may be asking you to make a lifestyle change, or asking you to look at how you respond to life, because the universe orchestrates certain events to trigger a sense of repetition to let you know what needs addressing. So it's not necessarily a bad thing all the time or something that's challenging. It might be something that you need more of. And it's not a coincidence that you feel the same way, even if you remove yourself. Now, what I mean by that is sometimes people think the grass is greener on the other side, but all our problems, issues, and everything comes back to us when it's unhealed or undealt with. Feelings, emotions, experiences repeat so that you can actually break free from what you do not want anymore and focus on what you do. This may not be physical breaking free, but energetic and emotional, one of acceptance that only you can empower this type of liberation to feel free. So, my partner said to me, it's only a flight away, Gaia. You can go for a week really regularly. So it's very much about looking at things from a perspective where cycles are being broken. If you find yourself coming back to the same place in your physical sense, in your emotional sense, in your spiritual sense, and it's something that you want to change in a way of bringing more of it in or not. Divine orchestration helps us heal through events, circumstances, and feelings. And we can reset ourselves and put things in perspective when passion has been lost and life has put us on autopilot. Divine orchestration helps us heal through events, circumstances, and feelings. We can reset ourselves and put things in perspective when passion has been lost and life has put us on autopilot. So what does that mean for you? Now, for me, I always give you these examples so you understand how to apply them in your own life, because we'll all be doing different things, having different experiences. And with the autopilot, I've been living so many years without seeing my parents that I got used to it. And then when I saw them, my heart opened up in a different way. And I didn't realize how much on autopilot we can all be until something comes in to disrupt us. Like the emotion that I felt when I got home, it was uncontrollable tears coming out of my eyes, this little girl longing for her parents. So for some, like my friend who is very, very unwell, it may be health issues, it's a disruption for her and her whole family. That feeling of being unloved, the feeling of rejection, the feeling of whatever it is, you've gotten used to one way of being, which may not be healthy and balanced. So things that are needing to challenge the status quo are coming up to break the cycle and find our way back to passion. Passion in our lives, for our lives, in our relationships, and what we want. We learn from everything. So I'm going to ask you again and really journal about this, think about this. What was orchestrated for you last week? How did you realize that you have been on autopilot this whole time and something came in to change, to bring you back to that feeling of who you really are? Now, every month I write an energy forecast for Woman magazine in New Zealand. This energy is applied internationally. So wherever you're listening to this in the world, go to Woman magazine. You can Google that on Google. So Woman magazine New Zealand. and you will see my energy forecast in the well-being section. And read through it multiple times. Obviously, every Monday I break it down with your lesson for you, but it's really good to know how you can progress your soul and live in a way that is spiritually growing you and giving you awareness. As we move on to this week, please remember I am always here for you. There are many, many ways that you can connect with me. Soul magics can be done at any time for acute callings in or clearings. If you need a mini reading, that's for app members. It's 3 PDF questions. You can email Kieran about these things. Personalized meditations are an amazing investment for you to heal yourself. They're like doing a session for me. I will tune in. I will spend a long time tuning in and delivering messages and energy that I infuse into the track for you to be able to have energy shifts. So they are amazing for your soul progression. If you need an emergency session, an ascension seeker session, which is a session where you do not need to wait forever if you're someone that has not seen me before. Kieran is the girl. I think you've all seen what Kieran looks like now. I shared her on my Insta stories. I also put it up on the app on the homepage, so you know the face behind the name. And she is at soul33@gmail.com. And if you need to renew your app or become a member, it's only $60 per year, which is a very, very nominal fee for this kind of app, which doesn't exist because it is your spiritual healer in your pocket to guide you every single week. As we move into this week, your Monday mantra is, I release expectations and allow things to grow from a place of passion. I release expectations and allow things to grow from a place of passion. We are breaking free in many ways, okay? So there's breaking the cycle, breaking free from our thoughts, breaking free from our sabotage, whatever it is. April starts with positive changes and passions reawakened in general life. This is why your homework that I've set for you is to align you with that inner passion, but not directly, because passion is really hard to find sometimes in life, especially to retain it long term. Like people will think, a moment of passion, but what does a lifetime of passion look like? So this week it's important to change any conformity. Go with the flow, letting rigid ways loosen. So I already know how this is going to apply in my life, and I'll give you the rundown of it next week. But we all have expectations. So what would it look like if you took these expectations away and did things because you love them and because you want to? Now, sometimes I know that there are things that we don't want to do, but there is a way to find ownership. How can you look at something with a perspective of, I'm choosing to do this. I'm choosing to do this because I want to, not because I'm made to, not because I need to, but just in that reframing, the energy changes when you do things because you want to. So do you know what your passions are? Ask yourself these questions. What can you work on where you will see results that accumulate? So gradual progress, not something that's going to give you instant gratification, because we live this life where we want instant gratification, but really, I've spoken about this before, things accumulate. They accumulate in our body, they accumulate in our soul, they accumulate in our mind, in our memories. So allow that accumulation to be something profound that you're passionate about. Like, I love my work. I am passionate about helping you and progressing myself in that process. And the focus is changing, and something in your physical world that is going to give you more substance in your life and oneness in your life is coming in, rather than feeling all over the place. So your belief in yourself to complete tasks or missions are being supported with the energy of Mother Earth. So if we love what we do and we make future plans based on loving what we do, you're guaranteed success, because what is success? And you have to define that as well. We've got a full moon that comes up this week. Now, I didn't include a specific full moon meditation in your homework, but you add that in. But we do have the full moon energy around the 6th and the 7th of April, depending on where you are in the world. It's a pink moon. It is time to release self-imposed restrictions so your true essence can come back to you. Releasing the fears. Full moons are always about getting rid of what does not serve. Releasing the fears that make you afraid of who you are or who you want to be. All expectations that do not serve you are what will be addressed or brought up for your healing at this time. So what expectations have you set that are making your life harder to feel joy because you are striving for something, striving to be in control, striving to be organized, striving to get ahead, striving to... The thing that I noticed when I came back to New Zealand is that I'm always doing, I'm always go, 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 that I very rarely receive from people. And I'm not saying that as a pity party, it just was an observation of how I felt. I'd forgotten what it was like to have someone do things for me. And that's when my mother had taken over and I was enjoying it. And then I realized, like, oh my goodness, I need to leave space to receive more and accept. So that's an expectation, I said, as I have set for myself, of being the leader, having to do, nothing gets done if I don't get it done. But that's not necessarily in balance. So that's why I had all the emotion come up to rebalance me. Because balance for this full moon in Libra is asking to be addressed. And the balance is in how much you've been trying to control things, which is our masculine energy. And with your feminine energy, which is how much you release the grip of the rope to reveal your true creative expression. It may be that your feminine energy needs to feel supported and safe in order to be yourself, or your masculine needs some boundaries set. Either way, balance is being restored this week, and it's time to really release those expectations and allow things to grow from a place of passion. You will have, because it's the first Thursday of the month, you will have a new meditation this week, and it will help to support your spiritual growth. All we have at the end of the day, my friend who is very unwell at the moment, she is a woman of faith. She is a very, very spiritual person, and I can see in her, she's unable to speak, but I can see in her, her physical self is upset. But I could feel that her soul knows exactly what is happening and what it's been orchestrated for. And it's not just for her, it's for her entire family and all of us who are impacted by her illness and her body beginning to expire. Interesting time in life, interesting time connecting in with the inner child, balancing our masculine, feminine energies, focusing on our passions, living the life we want to live within our means, and really questioning yourself very, very deeply. Keep up with your weekly homework, add in your own meditations, save them to your favorites, add to your playlists, and create longer experiences of being in meditation. Pull a soul progression oracle, use the lunar calendar. There's so many different ways you can support your healing, your spiritual well-being, and your mental health here on the Beacon by Soul 33. Remember, this is a great gift to give someone. It's only $60 for the year. We will create a gift voucher for them, and you can gift subscriptions to your friends, to your family. And as you know, there are so many ways to connect with me. So email Kieran@soul33@gmail.com. I am here for you. And the other thing that I wanted to say is that I'm so immensely grateful for all of you that I hear who are taking and making the effort to not be a victim to life anymore and truly embrace who you are. Your Monday mantra for this week is I release expectations and allow things to grow from a place of passion. I release expectations and allow things to grow from a place of passion. I've got a very interesting week coming up, so you will be seeing some updates. So I will let you know as things progress for me. Okay, take care, sending you lots of love. Bye.